to naval gazing at Camp David. Today, again, we're going to look at a wonderful catamaran that I viewed in the Grand Mont a few months ago, and I really hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Now, I want to make sure that you bear in mind, especially those dedicated blue water sailors out there, that this is not a review from your perspective. This is a review from my wife's perspective, because I said in my first video, the only way I'm actually going to be able to do that circumnavigation project in my retirement is if she agrees to come. And although she's adventurous, she's a city girl. So, as opposed to maybe the Lagoon 55, I'm sort of a gunboat guy, and we've got to find somewhere in between that fits budget, her requirements, and my desire to do this project. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. As you know, part of the series is pairing a wine with the choice of yacht. And today, our choice of yacht comes from, actually, Le Grand Mont, where I saw it for the first time. And our wine that we're choosing to pair with that lovely yacht is a Belanger de Vaux Germain. And it is a Volume 1 Champagne Brut. And I do hope you enjoy it. Now, one thing to bear in mind, and you'll want to keep this in mind for later in my video, there's a lovely little restaurant in Whistler, British Columbia, called the Barefoot Bistro. And the Barefoot Bistro is where I really first had an experiential champagne moment. They had a Moet celebration happening, and the maitre d' asked me if I would like our bottle of champagne chilled. And I said, oh, wonderful, sure. And so they chilled it, and they gave me my first savoring experience. So we gently find the seam of the bottle, we loosen the cage, just so that hopefully it stays on with the cork, and we savor the bottle. Now, there's one point that they brought up in this whole wonderful process, and it was the unique glasses that they had on the table at the time. Those glasses didn't have a foot, so they had to hang actually in a rack, two glasses sitting on the table. And I was asking, what is the deal with the glasses? Why no foot? And they told me a story, whether it's true or not, my French friends can tell me, that in the old days, when they served champagne to ladies at the parties, they would serve it in a glass without a foot, so that you couldn't put the glass down. It had to continuously be filled. I'll leave the rest to your imagination. Those French, they know what they're doing. So, we find the seam of the bottle, we take the saber, and voila! I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. I certainly will. Okay, welcome back. Let's see how the Belanger tastes. That's lovely. Okay, let's get into it. So, we are looking at the Outremer 55. I absolutely love the look of this one. It is sexy, it's fast, it's comfortable, it's just about everything you think of. Now, looking at our comparisons here, we got the MC55, the Outremer 55, we have the Kinetic 54, and of course we have the Windaloo 54. Now, you can see their various proportions here. These are all performance cats with a very solid cruising comfort element to them. Great space on deck, in the saloon, in the cabins. Really comfortable boats. You can see the various upwind sailing capabilities and the pricing and the general dimensions and weights. A little surprising is just how light the Windaloo is in comparison to the Outremer, but you can see across here again, Outremer really does stand out in its fit and finish. It was really an impressive boat. The Kinetic, however, although very pricey, is a strong competitor, as is the Windaloo, especially considering it's such an early entry. Now, boarding the Outremer 55, you can see this fantastic composite dinghy tender that they've got. You can also get that with the internal or the console, which you can see on Great Circle. When I stepped aboard, I'd seen this in so many videos, but what totally surprised me was the sense of space. The space in the cockpit, in the saloon, and of course this helm area is absolutely fantastic. That seat sitting there, this helm area, which is the Versa helm style from the Balance, but you can also see there a backrest when you're actually in the standing position with all your controls at your right hand. Then you can slide it over, sit in that fabulous lounging chair which can sit two people, or you can just stretch out. I'll never forget watching Le Vagabond and himself sitting in his traditional Outremer seat, saying everybody should have an opportunity to look down the side of this into the sun as you're sailing. And this just speaks to you when you're sitting here. So great sight lines, very accessible boom and sail bag, lots of solar on the roof, and again, everything is so, what's the word? It's so professional, it's so finished, it's so, production is usually used as a bad word in sailing, but this is refined. Every angle, the colors, the shapes, the way that the helm backrest is shaped, and the ergonomics of where the controls are, it's utterly fantastic. You can see the standard foresail and the single spreader mast there. Lots of room on the nets, the trampolines, and lots of room actually in front of the forward windows for some cushions. Now here I was asking if there's a princess seat or a dolphin seat, however you want to talk about it, and it's available. It just wasn't available. It just wasn't on this particular owner's. As well, this owner had opted for the fiberglass longeron. You'll see on Great Circle before the crash, they had that beautiful black carbon composite longeron, which, I know functionally it's fabulous, but visually it is absolutely gorgeous. The whole boat is so refined. It really is, it's got to be, I don't know, the Bentley Continental GT convertible of the catamaran world. You've got your flush-mounted hatches and your Dyneema lifelines, composite stanchions, and again, look at this inviting seat. I mean, man, you laying back legs out, helm over, so you can steer it with your feet and just enjoy the ride. Or pull it center-wise, lean up against the backrest. You've got your controls and a comfortable armrest. I mean, they thought of everything. Or slide it down into the cockpit if you're in bad weather, looking out through the helm. Now here you can see that we've got decent sight lines to the starboard bow. A little challenging to the port bow, but you lean down and you can see through the cockpit and you can see your port bow. Obviously from this standpoint you can easily see your starboard stern and your port stern. Now into the cockpit. These lovely folks were sitting there and were asking if they should move. I said no, they gave great perspective to the cockpit. But again, videos don't do this cockpit justice. They don't do the saloon justice. The space that you felt and that massive open door. I'm always a bit of a complainer about a 55, 60 foot cap that I have to sit at the dinner table. There's no lounge for me like in the living room. In this case, they took that table and they had it far enough away from the settee that you could drop it down, and it truly was a coffee table scenario, just like we see pictured here, where you had this sense of a living room, a lounging area, a casual area. Plus, you had this lovely nav station desk and a built-in comfortable seat. So again, folks talk about the desperate necessity for a forward-facing nav station so they can do their watch. I don't know why, because in monohulls you never had it, but I always complain that there's not a decent chair there. They have some kind of stool. I'm not going to sit there for hours on my night watch in the weather. Here, you'll notice they have a beautiful full back chair. The ceiling, both in the saloon and in the cockpit, beautifully finished, indirect and direct lighting. The fit and finish, the wood finishes, the floor, everything spoke of the oyster of catamarans. Now, heading down into the guest hull, again, soft furnishings on the daggerboard casing, made it very luxurious. I'm typically sort of a glossy wood guy. It's my age, I'm sorry guys. But this felt not IKEA modern, it felt sophisticated French modern. I mean, it was so beautifully done. Storage space is at a tad of a premium, but there is a solution for that, which we'll have a quick look at here in a moment. So bearing in mind, my question is, will Sylvia like this? Will she enjoy this? So far, I know all of your fit and finish, your furnishings, your space, your sense of space and comfort and luxury, it's all there. The one worry I have at this point in time is, where does she put her clothes? So this is your forward port side cabin. Now this can be used in multiple different things. Here we see it set up with the bunk beds. But there are some wonderful options for this that include a workspace, an office space, a Pullman cabin, or what I would have to have in order to have Mrs. Orton agree to join me is this dressing room. Fantastic. Walk in, you got closet space, you can hang all of your clothes. She's happy, I'm happy, I'll stuff my stuff wherever, but as long as Mrs. Orton is happy, we're good. And speaking of happy, there is your dishwasher, your electric oven, all electric appliances, and there's, I'm always thinking of a spot for a wine cooler, and there's certainly room for that. Now, heading down into the owner's hull, look at these magazine racks, the leather straps, the beautiful fabric on them, just a sense of luxury and style. Now, here's your owner's cabin. This is a point where Mrs. Orton might choke a little bit because of crawling over that bed. Here's a point where she would really choke. I opened up this door and I almost gave up hope, because there is about 10 inches of hanging space in there. Now, the salvation of that is this dressing room. But hearkening back to our champagne experience earlier, with ladies being given glasses without feet on them to make them happier, shall we say. I was thinking, you know, what are the French doing here? There's no storage space in here. There's probably 40 inches of hanging closet in the entire 55-foot multi-million-dollar yacht. What are they thinking? And then I thought, mon Dieu, they're geniuses. They create a champagne glass without a foot so you can't put it down. And they create this fabulous yacht with no place for clothes. I like it. I like it a lot. You guys are geniuses. Anyways, back to the boat. Fantastic boat. Here we are at the stern looking at the beautiful silhouette of this boat. The sugar scoops are great. One thing that I would love to see on any of these boats is on the sugar scoop, instead of a ladder, this incredible invention of Hansa on their 548 or others that have them as cassettes. Not ladders, but stairs. Now maybe it's because I'm getting older and I don't like the intensity of a ladder on my foot. And I love the idea of a stair, but this is absolutely fantastic and could easily fit into each sugar scoop. Why not? I mean, we've got power gangways that come off the back of monohulls and some catamarans. Why not have this beautiful staircase? Anyways, that is my impression of the Outremer. I loved it with that forward dressing room, the elegance, the sophistication, the finish, the fit. I mean, it is an absolutely top-notch, gorgeous yacht. Certainly could use a little more storage space, and the beds, I would really prefer not to have to crawl in and crawl out, but I asked the folks on Great Circle about that, and they said it was just fine. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you're back next week. Cheers.